Hey y'all, I want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2019. Hope everything's awesome for you so far. Thank you guys so much for all the questions and comments and things last year. I really appreciate it. Get this cup of coffee going. I want to thank Craig and Bobby and Sabrina and Katie and Carol for adminning that Friends and Fans page. It's pretty cool and I appreciate it very much. Oh, here, hang on. Those are my coffee spoons I got for Christmas. Kind of dig it. So I got a lot of questions about the photography business, about Lonnie's Hammer Down Hard projects, a lot of questions about travel, lots of questions about the solo album. And I want to answer all of them, but I don't want to make a 30-minute video because that would just get kind of boring. Have some of this coffee. I don't really know what order to answer everything. I don't know how to organize this. I made some notes, but I'll probably wind up just rambling a bunch. One of the coolest things that happened to me last year was when Justin Reimer called and asked me if I was interested in cutting solo guitar on Lonnie Hammer's Hammer Down Hard project. Completely honored, somewhat surprised. Didn't really know what to expect from Lonnie as a writer, singer, frontman. I mean, obviously we know him as a drummer, as a badass drummer. I was a little nervous, but I knew that if Justin had any part of it, it had to be amazing. Hey Jojo, where'd you go? Come here, dear. This cat. Hang on. So this is Jojo. Jojo Captain. Let's see. She wants to say hi. Can you say hi? She just wants my coffee. Look. No, don't. You can't have my coffee. Get in. Okay, sorry. Back to where we were. Yes, dog. Hang on. Say hi. Sebastian. Sebastian. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Say hi. Speak. Speak. Really? Good job. So I got a phone call from Justin Reimer asking if I wanted to play or record leads on Lonnie's project. And I did. I thought it was gonna be awesome. They sent me the tracks so I could just get a feel for them. One of the things about the way that I write solos is by feel. You know, when I'm out with Hammer Down Hard, when I was out with Winger, when I would have my solos, I had some framework for getting into and out of the solos, but I wanted to play what I felt on the spot, so I intentionally never wrote a particular solo. You know, I wanted to feed off the crowd. I wanted whatever energy I was having at the moment, that's how I wanted that to happen. And I wanted that to be the same with Lonnie's project. So when I went into the studio, I knew the keys. I figured out what key I was going to play in and everything, but I didn't have any preconceived ideas about what I was going to play. You know, I wanted to get feedback from Lonnie. I wanted to get feedback from Justin. And so that's kind of how we did it. And I think I played on 5 of the 8 tracks. It might have been 6 of the 8 tracks. I did a little bit of stuff on Fox on the Run. Sorry about all my chin in your face. I was pleasantly surprised. The quality of the writing was amazing. The quality of the recording was fantastic. One of my old drummers, Chris Strayton, who's one of my favorite drummers I've ever played with, he's solid as a rock, asked me how it felt to be playing with a drummer as a frontman. I really didn't have any preconceived ideas as far as what Lonnie could do in front of a band just because he's such a madman behind the kit. I knew that he knew what it takes to work a crowd. You know, after a couple of rehearsals, I knew that there wasn't going to be any problems with vocal fatigue or anything like that. So all in all, it's been an amazing experience and I'm really happy to be a part of it. I'm really proud of that album. I'm really proud for Lonnie and Justin. So if you haven't heard the album yet, this isn't really a sales pitch, but it was a big part of my life last year. Hopefully it'll be a big part this year as well. Kim Allegriza, who is, and I don't know if I ever pronounce her name right, sorry Kim, love you. Lonnie's manager and the band manager is working on some tour dates. I think right now they're tentative, so I can't really discuss them, but I know that we're coming up north to see some good friends, which will be fantastic. Yeah, it's just a great project. Everybody else in the band, Chris, Randall, Billy, they're fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to be playing with. Was nervous going in just because, you know, we're all new players playing somebody else's music, but I kind of have experience doing that, which is cool. Let's see. Let me make sure I covered all the Hammer Down Hard stuff. When are we coming to Minnesota? It's in the works. It's in the works. How did I feel about the drummer becoming a singer? I was a little nervous at first, but after the first rehearsal, I knew it was going to be amazing, and it was. Our first show at Rockfest in Cadott was fantastic. Show schedule, as soon as I can share that information, I will. I think right now it's all in the works, and so I don't want to step on anybody's toes or complicate anything, but it's coming. All right, let's see. Kim wanted to know when I'm coming back to Brazil again. As soon as you will have me. If I can find a band that's playing over there, I would love to come back. The tour that we did with Winger and Mr. Big was one of the coolest moments of my life. It was just that whole, I think it was 14 days, was just amazing. I met some amazing people, made some lifelong friends, people that I still communicate with on a weekly basis. One of my favorite photographers, Rodrigo, is there, and he's either coming here or we're going there, so it's going to happen. Craig wants to know when we're coming to the UK, and as soon as possible. I would love to go, hopefully this summer. You know, maybe you and Katie can help hook us up with some promoters and stuff over there. That would be fantastic. I'll just have your people contact my people. We'll work all that out. One question from Lanita was, how is Carrie? Carrie, my wife, is amazing, obviously. Matter of fact, all 4 kids are great right now. The grandbaby is fantastic. Here, let's see. That's my family, for those of you who don't know. And my dog. We didn't have JoJo in that picture yet, but there's one of my favorite pictures of me and the missus. So anyway, Carrie's doing awesome. Matter of fact, she went back to work today. She's a teacher, so she was on holiday. Seth Allen asked a couple of questions. One of them being, I don't remember exactly what he said. It was something like, how did you get that awesome rock and roll voice? And thank you, I appreciate that. He also wanted to know what advice to give other singers. At the moment, speaking from experience, I can tell you what not to do. Let's see, a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with nodes on my vocal cords, which put a huge damper on touring with Winger and playing live shows here locally in Memphis. You know, singing Kip's parts, Kip's a fantastic singer. I mean, you all know. And doubling him on some of the choruses or taking over for him during the verses if he needs just a break for a minute and is difficult, and it was just beyond my range. I think I had a great range, but it was just outside my range, and I pushed and pushed and pushed because, you know, obviously I wanted every night to be amazing. And then, you know, we'd play 3 nights in a row. We'd come home. I'd play my acoustic shows, which were 4-hour-long sets. I'd play for an hour, take a 30-minute break, etc. And just the fatigue of doing that every week just ruined my voice for a little while. I spent the last year working on it, trying to get it back. I was on vocal rest for a while. I didn't sing for almost 7 months, and it was hard. It was difficult for me to go through that. I never really struggled to sing before. I never had lessons. I never practiced. I just got on stage and did it. Matter of fact, I was playing in a 4-piece band. The singer got well, you know how singers get, and quit right before a show. So G, the bass player, and I, we just took over front responsibilities, and I've been a front man ever since for all of my bands other than, you know, Winger and Brian Howell and all that stuff. I just didn't take a break. You know, during my set breaks, I'd play for an hour. After that, I would go, and you know, you have to be sociable. You have to go talk to the people who have either paid to come see you play, or they're regulars who come see you all the time, or they're fans who really support you. And I couldn't just, you know, go outside and not speak. So singing out by myself, you know, because all my acoustic shows were solo for years, except for the ones I did with Juno and Corey Myers from Tom Kiefer. And then so it was just full on vocal fatigue. And then I'd come home the next day and I was trying to get my degree. And so there was just never time to take a break. There was never a moment of rest. I gotta go let this dog out real fast. You know, I can tell you what not to do, which is don't kill yourself singing. When you get a break from a show, take the break. When you have downtime, take the downtime after a show. Warm up before a show. I never warmed up before a show before I met Kip. You know, and I wish that I had. You know, Kip taught me how to warm up, taught me how to cool down, and that's something that I wish I had known years earlier. So yeah, that's what not to do. Don't kill yourself singing. If you need the break, take the break. You know, be selective with your sets. I haven't played a smoking venue in years. I elected a couple of years ago to stop because of sinus issues and stuff that I was having. I would go sing a smoky bar and not be able to speak for the next 2 or 3 days. That was difficult. I decided not to do that anymore. Yeah, I think everybody's voice is different. I don't know that I knew how to change the quality of my voice. I think the more I sang, the more raspy it got, so the more rock it sounded. I sang, you know, 3 times a week for years and years and years and years and years. So lots and lots of practice. Hey Jojo. Look at Jojo back there. What's she doing? So yeah, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what not to do. Don't push too hard. Let's see, in this last year, I think I played 3 shows locally. 2 of them were with my good friend Bobby Stacks. The first one, voice was 100%. Best I've been able to sing, in my opinion. Best I've been able to sing in probably a year and a half, probably 2 years. Was super excited about it, was considering getting back on the road, starting my acoustic shows back. But then we had another show 2 weeks later, and it was just back to the struggle. And it really is a struggle to do it right. So still a little nervous, which leads me to all the questions about the solo album, because that's definitely played a part. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm really not, because I'm really proud of the work that I've accomplished so far. I mean, there's just so many issues. Rod Morgenstein came to town with the Dixie Dregs, and I picked him up. We went and had lunch and talked for a while. I hadn't seen him in a couple of months just because of the tour slowed down. And he asked me about the album, and I just opened up to him and was honest as possible about it. You know, I have 12 songs written, all of the music, bass, drums, keys, rhythm guitars. I don't write my leads until after I record vocals. That way, if there's a melody that I like, I'll incorporate it into my leads, and I just like playing off the voice that way. So I don't have lyrics written, and I've never been a good lyricist at all. All of my lyrics are like, you know, juvenile 4th grade, tight skirts and red leather pants and long hair, and, you know, just, I mean, I try to be deeper than that, but it feels to me that that's what it sounds like. But so Rod and I were talking about the difficulty that I have writing lyrics, and I got to thinking that, you know, all the songs that I wrote when I was a kid, all of the passion and all of the drive, all came from a type of angst, from an anger, and not mad at the world, I don't think. I mean, maybe if I analyzed it, it would be something like that. But, you know, grew up super poor, wanted to, well, I shouldn't say super poor, single parent. And she's still amazing, the most supportive parent ever. But, you know, by no means did I come from an affluent background or anything like that. And so, this phone's killing me, hang on. It's weird to write from a place where everything in your life is good. At least it's hard, it's difficult for me. You know, the business is doing well, my marriage is amazing, my kids are all healthy and perfect, and, you know, I was touring with one of the best bands, one of my favorite bands on the planet. Like, if I could have picked my top 3 bands of all time, I got to tour with them. I got to play with them for 4 years. You know, so there's no discontent to pull from, which is how I've always written. I've always written from a place of unhappiness or struggle to reach the next level of something, and I don't have that. You know, at the time, you know, at 44 years old, life was perfect. Life is still perfect, which is a blessing. It's amazing. I can't begin to to vocalize how lucky I am and how amazing life is. And so, you know, do you write heavy metal songs about, you know, my life rocks, my kids are great, my wife is awesome? Like, that's just not the right place to come from. So it's making lyrics difficult for me. And I don't know how to get out of that situation. I've thought about hiring in other writers. I'd love to find a writer to sit down and write with, but to be honest, I'm a dick control freak. One of the reasons I'm doing the album all by myself is because of those issues. You know, and when I did bring in outside help, like Ricky Allman recorded most of the drum tracks for me, Zach Horvath did a couple. You know, I was very specific with them about what I wanted, and you know, they'd send me a track and I'd tell them what I didn't like and I'd send it back, and that's different than partnering up or co-writing something. You know, they played what I needed them to play and they did it really, really well. I'm trying to figure out if I want to let you guys hear some snippets. I don't know from a copyright standpoint what that will, if that will create any issues. So the other problem with the solo album is the vocal cords and the nodes. And so I've talked to probably 5 or 6 different singers and asked them if they would be interested in coming in and working with me and singing my songs for me. You know, it might even be possible that I would bring them in and let them co-write the lyrics, so that way they have an emotional connection to the song. So as of right now, as of today, today's the 3rd of January 2019, the plan is, to the best of my ability, write meaningful lyrics that are not juvenile, that are meaningful to me, that are hopefully meaningful to you. I mean, obviously I'd like some type of emotive connection. You know, anyway, and get in the studio and start tracking vocals. If it gets to the point where I can't physically do the work, then I'm going to start bringing in some outside resources and see, you know, what can happen. Or, you know, so as of right now, the plan is to finish the album by the end of March. We'll just see, guys. I promise you it's not because I don't want to do the work. I promise you it's not because I'm, you know, it's just, number one, I'm nervous. Number two, I'm a horrible lyricist with, you know, no subject matter to draw from. I don't know how else to put it other than that. Hopefully you guys understand. I'm sure that you do. I know most of you. Yeah, so that's that part. I can't sit still for some reason. I probably had too much coffee today. Let me set this back down. All right, so a couple of questions, little questions. One of them was about guitar tones. My buddy Seth, who I've known for years, was one of my very first drummers ever, has known that when it comes to tone, I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, and I still don't feel like I have a great guitar tone. My tone is constantly evolving. I'm constantly changing gear. Being a perfectionist makes life difficult. I will say that I got a Kemper a couple of years ago, a Kemper Profiler, and that's made life pretty easy. The difficult part of that is that there's 3,000 sounds in there already. So I'm gonna get John Roth's Mesa Boogie profile. I'm looking forward to that. I might have it already. I have to double check, but I don't think so. But yeah, I think perfection, or the pursuit of guitar tone is never ending. I think that I don't need one particular tone. You know, when I was playing in one band, I needed a particular tone. When I was playing in another band, I used a Fender DeVille, you know, and had a real raw kind of bluesy sound. And I definitely try to change the tone for what I'm playing. Obviously, my heart is in, you know, heavy metal, 80s rock, shred fest. Let's see, Bobby asked me what made me want to become the guitarist that I am today. I'll try to keep this short. So when I was 13, I went to my first rock concert, which was Rick Springfield, who I'm still a huge fan of. It was his Cathode Ray tour. I went with this beautiful redhead college girl. My mom paid her to take me because I needed a babysitter that night or something apparently, and it was just the coolest experience because I was there with this beautiful woman, and the concert was huge, and you know, and I was already listening to rock music, but I just didn't make a connection to live performance. And from that day on, it was just, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to stand in front of thousands of people and have them sing my songs back to me. So that's what made me want to become a performer. And then I went to every concert I could from then on out, and it was just all research. I didn't really start concerning myself with like shred guitar or lead guitar until Dokken's Under Lock and Key came out, and I was just floored. So that album was life-changing for me. George Lynch doing what he does just blew my mind, and so I probably spent the next 2 years doing everything I could to emulate George. Obviously in the later years, emulation's not the best thing, but I think when you're cutting your teeth, that's the best way to learn. So the other 2 albums that changed my world, the first Winger album, whenever I delved so deeply into that album that I probably didn't have a social life for 3 or 4 years. Just Reb was so far beyond anything that I was capable of, and it was frustrating at first, and then it became a driving factor. It became my motivator. The other album that changed my world was Extreme's first album, and so those 3 guitarists have been my favorite guitar, and to this day they still are. I got into Satriani and Vai for a while, and I think they're both amazing guitarists, and they both had a huge impact on me, but not quite as life-changing as the, you know, Dokken Winger Extreme stuff. If you had asked me in '89 if I was ever gonna play guitar with Winger on tour, I would have told you were a blithering idiot. But guys, I think I've answered all of the questions. Hopefully I didn't skip anything, and hopefully I wasn't too long-winded. I'm gonna edit this try to shorten it up a little bit for you. You know, 2019 is going to be a big year for me. The Smith Artisan Photography is doing really well, much better than we ever anticipated. It was never supposed to be my sole source of income or my main revenue stream, you know, but it's a fantastic outlet as a creative or as a creator. It's this totally different outlet from music that still allows me to be passionate and creative, and you know, I get to put a piece of myself into this business, and I think our clients see that, which is probably why we're doing so well. I also started doing videography. I really enjoy making movies. Not, you know, they're more like vlogs, not like this per se, but sorry, camera dad. My first foray into videography or into movie making was the Monsters of Rock cruise, and if I can figure out how to make a link here or here, I'll do that. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. Started doing wedding videos this year, and as cliche and as, you know, vanilla as it sounds, man, it's an amazing experience to capture such an emotional day, and then to give that back to the client in a way that still moves them, even though they were a part of it. You give it back to them in a way that represents that whole day in 4 or 5 minutes for them, and it's something that hopefully they'll, if I've done my job correctly, they'll cherish for a lifetime, and I really like that. So anyway, that's the plan. Solo album hopefully finished by March. Matter of fact, I'm gonna sit down, edit this, get it out there, go back into the studio, keep plugging away at Smith Artisan Photography and videography. Yeah, and that's it, guys. Thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support. I'd never be able to do anything that I do without all of the love and support. The GoFundMe for the album, I mean, where I'm at right now is all because of you guys. And, you know, we upgraded the studio, the new interface, the new monitors, keyboard so I could write my keyboard parts. The Kemper profiler was paid for from the GoFundMe page. And you guys have just been incredible to me, and hopefully I can give you back a product that is representative of how appreciative I am. So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing 2019, and I'll see you soon. Bye.